Competition is a great, beautiful thing. Coke competing with Pepsi, Dick competing with balls. Competition is the best possible thing for consumers because then it leads to companies competing with each other to offer the best product, so you'll choose them over the competitors. When there is not a competitor, there's no incentive for the company to do anything different or be any better. It can just be complacent and stay the same. That is the story of Overwatch for the longest time. A game that's existed in this pitiful, stagnant lull, this holding pattern, this autopilot mode, staying idle, where it doesn't do anything because it doesn't need to do anything, because anyone that wants a hero shooter is going to play it because all of the competitors wither and die pretty quickly, like Concord, for example. So Overwatch didn't need to be better. But they did do a big push with that whole scam, Overwatch 2, that load of baloney, where all they did was just put a 2 in the name and then not follow through on a single promise they ever made. Still no PvE ever coming to the game. None of the promises being fulfilled. We don't need to go down this road. I've made fun of them plenty of times. I've thrown my fair share of tomatoes for that. But recently, there has been something that threatened the ecosystem a bit here of Overwatch. Marvel Rivals. And this is a very good thing for both Overwatch and Rivals. If you are the biggest fan of Marvel Rivals, you want Overwatch to get better, because Overwatch getting better means it's going to force Rivals to get better in order to stay competitive in the market. And if you're a huge Overwatch fan, God rest your soul, good heavens, Lord have mercy. If you're the biggest Overwatch fan, you want Rivals to continue to do extraordinarily well, because Rivals doing well is finally getting some actual tender love and care put into your game, making your game better to stay competitive in the market. Overwatch is finally doing something. You see, Overwatch is not good. In fact, it might be the worst thing possible. The only thing worse than Overwatch is death, and even that's pretty close. I don't like the game. I used to love the game. I have close to like 600 hours in it for the first 3 seasons. I loved it. And then it just started getting stale, and it never got better. And it's been stale ever since. There was a little spark, like a little ignition in me that got me back in Overwatch for a bit with Overwatch 2 going to 5v5. I was like, oh, this is new and different. And even that wore off. And now, Overwatch 2 is basically just Overwatch 1 again, where they're slowly reintroducing everything from Overwatch 1. 6v6. They just made a huge hoopla yesterday about bringing loot boxes back. You know your goose is cooked. You know you are desperate when you are celebrating the return of loot boxes. Now, speaking of desperate, maybe you're desperate for love and Valentine's Day is right around the corner. Well, maybe the reason you don't have a Valentine is because you don't smell good. I'm just gonna hit you with cold water. You want to know how you fix that? You use Cheeky soap. Start smelling better. Our soap company, baby, it's the best in the world. And also, for Valentine's Day, we're doing 10% off for the whole weekend. So starting today, everything's 10% off. Go to usecheeky.com, click the link in the description, 10% off. You're going to feel the best you've ever felt after a shower. You're going to smell the best you've ever felt, and you're going to find love. I guarantee it. Now, as I mentioned, Overwatch is, at least to me, in a panicked state, trying to figure out what they can do to claw back some players, or keep whatever players they have left in their game instead of going to Rivals, which right now has all of the hype and all of the momentum. And their plan is basically just, hey, let's just dial everything back. Let's turn the clock back to when you guys liked Overwatch. You remember that? We're gonna do all of that again. Just ignore the 2 in the name. It's taking you back to the past to play a shitty game that sucks ass. It's just going from Overwatch 2 to Overwatch 1 again, but with more heroes now. And also, they did make a huge announcement with a large multitude of changes that are coming to the game. Some of them seem pretty big, like the introduction of perks and a third-person mode, as well as a slew of other changes, but they're pretty big, like more substantial than Overwatch is used to having, because they haven't needed to make any big changes, because it's been the only bully on the block in the hero shooter genre until Marvel Rivals, which has absolutely exploded. The game is huge. And most people really like the game, actually. It's been able to hold over 250,000 players on just Steam since its release. And it's not showing any signs of slowing down, with constant updates and constantly listening to community feedback. Like the other day, Marvel Rivals rolled out this delusional brain-dead idea of doing a mid-season rank reset that everyone was vocal about their disgust with, saying like, hey, you just blowing from stupid town? Can we not do this? And the devs heard that, they're like, you're right. we won't do this. We're going to put away the Orb of Confusion, and we're not going to do that. Sorry. Like, that's great. If it was Overwatch, they would have rolled that out the next day just out of spite. Like, fuck you guys. Point is, Marvel Rivals has been absolutely biblically slapping Overwatch in the mainstream consciousness of hero shooters, and in player count as well. Overwatch player numbers on Steam are brutal in comparison to Rivals, but there are a large chunk of players for Overwatch that are on console, and that same is true for Rivals, where it is likely more people on Rivals than Overwatch. Point is, Rivals has been shoving Overwatch into the lockers. It has been putting its head in the toilet and swirling the game, and now, because of this competition, Overwatch is finally doing something to try and breathe life back into the game and make a better product. So, we went over some of the changes on stream last night, and I think this is a great thing, both for Rivals and Overwatch. A new era of innovation and excitement. Loot boxes are back! It's so innovative, they've never tried that before. Not just the loot boxes, they're adding perks to the game similar to how Apex does it, and they're adding a Valorant-style game mode. Oh, wait, they're putting effort into it? No, why would they do that?
Heroes are about to get a whole lot more heroic with perks. Perks are here to completely redefine your strategy and how you play your favorite heroes. Think of them as hero-specific bonuses that level up your gameplay and not just your hero.
Oh
This means
shit!
you can
That is
customize
exactly
how
like
you play
Apex
in a
Legends,
match
yeah.
like never before.
Oh, it's back! Yeah! Yes! Yeah!
Major perks are gameplay shifting additions to your hero's kit, changing your core loop and redefining
Tomorrow Marvel
what a
Rivals
hero is
announced perks.
capable of. Let's look at an example now with Orisa.
Stadium is packed with
Here we go.
transformative powers and strategic encounters
Third
that enhance
person.
the hero fantasy well beyond anything we've released. This also includes the option to choose how you play in either a first-person or an entirely new third-person perspective from which to see more of the battlefield
Third-person
and to
hero
run
shooters could
situations
never
in
work.
action.
What are they smoking? Where would they even get that idea
Go into
from?
detail and really showcase what Stadium is all about.
Well, it looks like they're at least trying to do something with Overwatch now instead of just riding this complacency wave for the last fucking 5 years. That's competition, baby. That'll do it to you. I'm gonna be honest, not enough to get me back into Overwatch, but at least it's trying now. Took them this long to know they got competition. Well, they legitimately did not have competition until Rivals. They were able to just do whatever they wanted, and hero shooters would pop up and die within months. Till Rivals. Now they gotta try. You passed the free loot boxes part. Free loot boxes? Wait a minute. I may have spoke too soon. Free loot boxes? This will be good for both games. Hopefully this will be the start of Blizzard waking up and getting... Yeah. I mean, it is good for both games. 100%. Make no mistake, these are big changes. Beyond the comical reintroduction of loot boxes, there are real meat and potatoes here. You know, like the Stadium mode. Like, looking at the list here, the things that they're introducing, like, these are big. Stadium mode sounds like something that's got a lot of thought put behind it. Seems like it wants to be some kind of pseudo MOBA in Overwatch, so you're going to be earning currency and upgrading your heroes for the match. It seems like they want to put quite a focus on it too. They have like the third person option now as well. Like there are a lot of things they're trying, and just the fact that Overwatch for the first time in a long time is trying is a sign of just how good competition is for games and genuinely anything. When there is a monopoly, when there is something that has a stranglehold on an industry and nothing really threatens it, why would it ever have any incentive to do anything better? It can only ever get worse. That is why you as an Overwatch fan, or you as a Marvel Rivals fan, want each game to be doing well. Because it's going to make your preferred game have to be better and improve and evolve. So I'm happy to hear this. It's not enough to get me back in the game. I'll probably continue to laugh at Overwatch for the blunder that is Overwatch 2, but I can't help but applaud them for finally putting some real effort into trying to make the game better. And I hope that these changes are good changes for the game. So yeah, Overwatch is desperate, and they should be, and from this desperation, hopefully a diamond will be forged, and Overwatch can somehow return to its former glory and be really good again. We'll see. That's really about it. See ya.